Hello, welcome back to another episode of Fibre Fuckery. I'm barely in frame. It's dark. That must mean one thing. I'm on the ferry. Yep. I'm on the ferry, which means I'm going somewhere. Obviously. I'm going to the island this weekend. I took a couple days off work as a little treat. Not a treat for my wallet, but a treat for my soul, you know? And my car decided to just give me a little check engine light. That was a nice treat. So now I'm going to plug my shop, link in bio, JackassCollective.ca if you want to buy some silly yarn. There's some hand spun, there's some hand dyed, there's wearables. I have some fiber on there too if you're a spinner, a felter. If you're a crafty person, there's things for you there. So I'm plugging myself. It is Cowichan, Fleece, and Fibre this Saturday. And I was like, you know what? I'll go. It's fine. It's just a quick little drive up the Malahat. So that's what we're doing today. The Malahat is like a little windy little highway, and you'll see a clip. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. I'm going to the island. This is going to be a very short little vlog because my phone storage maxed. My mental capacity maxed. I'll see you when I see you. Good morning. It is Saturday, October 19th. Fleece and Fibre day. It's the ass crack of dawn. I was like, I'll get up early, have a big breakfast, get some knitting done. I'm working on a sock. It's been a while since I knit a sock and I forgot how much I love knitting socks. I'm whispering because the entire household is asleep and I don't want to wake up the dogs either. This is some, whoa, shaky hands. This is some Terrified sock yarn. It's not gonna focus. That was delusional. This is some Terrified sock yarn from my store. It's a superwash BFL yarn. 80% BFL, 20% nylon. Love her work. This is the first time I've knitted up and it's very cool. Very fun, very fresh. Anyways, I have some coffee. Shout out to my mom and her Ray Dunn obsession. Her Halloween mugs, all Ray Dunn. Anyways, we're about to get ready and drive. It's raining out. It's pouring rain actually. So happy rain season. The goal for today is 3 things that I wrote down that I need to double check. Number 1 on the list, mohair locks. When is mohair locks not on the list? Up a Creek Farm is gonna be here this weekend, today. You guys have seen me talk about them before. They were at Entwined Market in the summer and I bought a bunch of their mohair locks and loved them. So I wanna get some more from them. And I also wanna get some black wool and or fiber. I'm working on a project that requires some black. So I'm just gonna keep an eye out for any sort of black fiber that I can blend with. As well as I saw a video, I believe it was Loopy Studio, it'll be on the screen, and she made self-striping sock yarn and my brain went, oh, I could just make self-striping sock yarn. And I've wanted to spin yarn to make socks for a while, but seeing that video and then casting on a pair of socks, I'm gonna check out some fiber that I could make self-striping socks with. That's all, and I need to behave financially today. So keep me in check, please. My check engine light is reminding me of that. I forgot I had copywritten music taken during these clips. Normally I'd give you guys a good horizontal shot while I'm driving, but we cannot be fucking around with the phone on this highway. It's a really windy, like dangerous highway. And we also had an atmospheric river in the forecast, which basically just means excessive rain and flash flooding. So this is like a pretty little clip. I couldn't get the dash out of the way. Sorry, I was trying not to die, hydroplane, fall off a cliff, but it is a very beautiful drive. As I said, we are doing a low maintenance little vlog today. So on the left here is just the view, the trees, stunning on the drive up. This was just where I was parked. And then, yeah, I didn't take any clips. It was freaking jam-packed. I was there right at 10. You can see in the left photo there, way at the back, you can see the Copper Spoon team. Nicole from the Spinnacle is in there somewhere. It was nice to see some friends, some Fibre friends. Good morning, friends. I feel like I look like dog shit. I'm wearing the same hoodie as I was in the intro, but it is like 2 weeks later. because my phone has been testing me. My technology has been testing me. We don't need to get into that. I'm sitting on a bin of yarn because my studio chair broke. Here's the haul. I may seem like grumpy in this vlog because I am, but the actual event itself was very fun and loved it for the most part. We'll get into that though. The first couple things I grabbed were from the Weavers and Spinners Guild. I can't remember which guild they were, but they had a lot of things. Loud truck. Filming time. So the first thing that I saw was this. Yeah. This is 100% wool boucle. This is a massive skein. This is 275 grams of wool boucle, 100% wool. I've never seen 100% wool boucle. Like normally there's a silk thread or a polyamide or a nylon thread, acrylic thread, but this is 100% wool, which I thought was really cool. It's obviously massive and it's looking rather naked. Maybe I could dye it. I think the vision with her is I'm gonna dye it and then probably spin. You can see this is my spinning wheel. This is Petunia here. You can see the corner of her. I think I want to spin like a medium, bulky-ish single and then ply it with this and have like the biggest, squishiest skein of yarn I've ever created in my entire life. Beautiful. This was in a bag with these 3 skeins. $5. Steal of a deal. This is all 100% wool. There's a mustard kind of yellowy color, a honey mustard kind of color. This is just 2 plies, 100% wool. It's a toothy wool. This would be nice for socks. I've been knitting a lot of socks lately. Might knit some socks with this. There's a black in here as well. These are caked up so beautifully. My cakes are always a mess. Again, this is a 2 ply. This is a little bit thicker. It's probably a DK. This is probably like a worsted. I don't know why I'm wiggling them. And then this kind of foresty kind of green. Yeah, an emeraldy forest green. This is stunning. This is more of a DK weight. Beautiful. These are all kind of like a toothier. This is not merino wool. And stunning. $5 for the 4 of these. Love. I get to play around with these. Obviously, I only wanted this, and even $5 for just this would have been a steal of a deal. But it was $5 for all 4, so love. Next, maybe it seems like I'm powering through this. I don't know if I mentioned, I've filmed this 4 times. I've filmed this haul 4 separate times and been fucked around by my technology 4 different times. So this is, I've said this all before and I'm tired. Also from the guild, I got this cone of cotton. This is like either I love like a purple or a sapphire blue. This is kind of in the middle. It's like an indigo royal purple. It looks more purple on the screen than it is in real life. But it's just a nice lace weight cotton. And I figured I could make a titty top. I could make a bag. I've been making a lot of market bags. This was $1. Love. I don't know the weight of this. I haven't weighed it yet, but love that. Also got a book. This is Silk Unraveled by Lorna Moffat. Experiments in tearing, fusing, layering, and stitching. I love silk. I love silk. It's truly one of my favorite fibers, so I thought this would be a nice little book to add to the collection. And this was also, I think this is $1 or $2. A steal of a deal. That's not all I got from the guild. I totally forgot I got more things. So they had a bin that was marked silk, and I said, I'm listening. And I shuffled my way in there, and I got some silk fiber. I thought it was gonna be silk yarn, but it was fiber. Most of it was undyed. This is just a little, this doesn't say the yardage in here, but this is just a bag of silk. It says Loose Ends Fiberworks in there. Loose Ends Fiberworks, custom carding fiber art supplies from Eugene, Oregon. So that's cool. I'm obviously gonna dye this. And then there was another little bag of silk. Hello? This is called Mori Silk, 37 grams for $5. I've never heard of Mori Silk before, so I don't know, maybe that's a different kind of silk than I've worked with. But again, I'm gonna dye these. And last but not least from the guild, everything's on the table behind you, sorry. 2 little cones of merino. You can see, I think you can tell. One of these is bleached and one of these is just natural. So there's a whiter shade and like a creamier shade. This is like very thin lace weight, 100% merino. And I originally got this because my mother bought herself some Halloween wool from Hobie. This is the Christmas sock wool. and she said she bought this and said, socks? So she wants some Christmas socks. This is her very subtle way of asking. So I thought it'd be fun to try and dye some, like a contrast color, because I want to get the most of this yardage and bring in like a red or a green kind of contrast color heel. My voice is sounding worse and worse. I don't care. It is what it is. So because this is very thin, this is like a lace weight, I plied the two together and was kind of playing around with this, and I thought it'd be fun to dye. I'm still gonna dye this, I just don't think it's gonna be for my mom's sock project, but that was the original vision here. But yeah, just some nice merino. It's not very soft, I'll say that, which is why I bought it. It's not the softest merino I've ever felt. So they might have just marked it merino and it's just a wool, because I've never felt a merino like this. Unfortunately, Up a Creek Farm didn't make it. There was flash floods. We had an atmospheric river, is what the BC news forecast people like to call it. It's flash floods. So we had really, really heavy rains and flash floods. So there was a bunch of vendors that just didn't make it, which sucked, but Up a Creek Farm didn't make it. But I did, however, find some different locks. These are Cotswold locks, which is an endangered breed of sheep. And this comes from Inish Eile Farms. Flop, Irish pronunciation, but that's Irish for other island farm. They're a little farm on Pender Island, which is so cool. Pender Island is one of the little islands along the coast of Vancouver Island. And I just think it's really cool that this is like a super endangered breed of sheep, and I got to buy a massive bag of locks from them. And you already know I dyed some already, because again, this event was like 2 weeks ago. I'm not gonna take them out of the bag, I'm sorry, I'm tired. But I was just playing around with some different colors. There is some rusty oranges, some yellowies, some pinks, some mauves. Really cool. These are in the shop restock. Great product. Showing off here. These are in the restock on the website on Monday, November 4th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. They were really fun to dye. The staple length is so long, and they took the dye really nicely. It was nice to play around with a different kind of lock. Next up, we have the incredible Jill's Fibre. Jill was at Entwined Market, and her booth at Entwined was massive. She had these big bags of fluff lining the walls. It was awesome. All different colors, all different breed types, but I just grabbed some black Welsh Mountain. This is 60 grams. I told you guys I was looking for some black fiber to blend with. This is like a blackish brown kind of color. It's really hard to get a true black wool, but I want to do some experimenting with this and this ominous bag. This is Border Collie. This is from my mom's boyfriend's dog, Zoe, and Zoe's getting a little bit older, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to experiment with spinning dog fiber. Now, I don't know if you've been around long enough to hear me say that the idea of spinning dog fiber terrifies me because the smell scares me. But what changed my mind was Brian from WooltoGold. He does an incredible YouTube channel. He's on TikTok a lot. Spinner, fiber, mastermind, genius, huge brain. He was talking about spinning his dog's fiber. He has, I don't know what kind of dog he has, but long story short, he was talking about spinning his dog's fiber, and he was talking about how the indigenous women of British Columbia would spin their dog's fur. And I'm watching this video, probably knitting away, listening to Brian, who lives in like East Coast USA. Like, I think he's around New York, somewhere around there. And I am sitting my ass in British Columbia. And I'm like, huh, I didn't know that. So I started looking more into it, and actually, where did I put it? Recently, I picked up, just from the library, I borrowed Working with Wool by Sylvia Olson, A Coast Salish Legacy and the Cowichan Sweater. This book is written through the perspective of a white woman who marries an indigenous man. She lives the majority of like her adult life on a reservation surrounded by women, Coast Salish women, and wool and fiber arts and all these things. And then she goes to write her thesis on the Cowichan sweater, wool in Coast Salish communities. I don't remember exactly her thesis, but would recommend this book, Working with Wool, Sylvia Olson. And she talks about the indigenous women that would spin dogs' fur. It was crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put the photo in because of copyright, but they show a photo of like an archived old photo of two indigenous women holding a dog that is the wool dog. And it looks like it's got the face of a Jack Russell. I'll put the photo in if I can. I'm nervous. I don't know how copyright works, truly. I know how nothing works. I'm just a guy. I'm just learning, okay? This little wool dog, he looks like a Jack Russell. Little Jack Russell face, those little ears, kind of a little mischievous face, but it's like this thick, coarse, like almost curly, not curly, like wavy. It's an old photo, so it's really hard to tell, but I thought it was cool that there is a photo in here, and obviously they're extinct. The author talks about how like different people moving into the area, colonizers, settlers coming in with their own dogs that would breed with the wool dogs, and then all the traits of the wool dogs were bred out of them unintentionally. But I thought it was really cool. I don't know. So I'm on a journey of just kind of learning about indigenous women and fiber artists in my community. And I'm learning so much, and my mind is blown in so many ways, and I appreciate fiber arts so much more. So shout out Brian for that little side quest in my journey. So yeah, this is what this was for. Some black sheep's wool to mix with some Zoe, some border collie. And this will be a fiber fuckery. We'll get to this later, but long story short, I got some black sheep's wool. Also from Jill's Fibres, Jill does incredible mohair locks. These are so pink, my camera cannot pick them up. There was a random green lock in here and like two little red ones. Don't know what happened there, but love it. These are stunning. I've actually already spun with these again because it's been 2 weeks. And I spun, if you watched my XOXO Fiber vlog and haul, you saw I got this little, I think they called it a batling. It was from Bad Anna's. I can't remember the artist, but the vendor, the store that sold it was Bad Anna's. And so I spun this little batling, this tiny little bat, with some of those pink mohair locks. You can see those bright pops of pink. Those are Jill's mohair. I haven't washed or set these yet. But it's just a 3-ply. I spun the bat as a single with the mohair locks in it. There's some JackassCollective mohair, and then like this pastel pink wool that I did a 3-ply with. Love 3-plies lately. Don't know what it is. And yeah, that's Jill's locks. Love. Earlier I mentioned I was grumpy about my technology, not the event itself. However, I will say, if your event is in the end of October, why are you booking vendors for indoor and outdoor booths? It's the end of October and we live in the Pacific Northwest, and historically we know October is wet, okay? So we had flash floods that weekend, and there was vendors booked outside. Because of the amount of cancellations, most of the vendors that were outside were able to come inside, except for two vendors. Except for two vendors who stood outside in the pouring rain all day with tents of wool. Event organization, flop. Why the fuck would you put people outside? Anyways, Carrie from Chaotic Fibres, I don't remember if I said in the my wanna buy to do shopping list that Chaotic Fibres was gonna be there. I wanted to check out her booth. I love Chaotic Fibres. As you could tell, I'm chaotic myself. So Carrie's colors and the stuff she does, I love everything Carrie does. I've spun some of her merino Tussa silk blends before, so I wanted to grab some of those. They weren't officially on the list, but like I wanted to keep an eye out. Carrie couldn't unload her full truck because it was so wet and like there was no point. So I didn't end up grabbing those, but I grabbed some little sari silk bundles. These are 25 grams. This is like a kind of pastel bubblegum pink with some royally purples, and then like a muted mauvey brown. I've spun some sari silk, 100% sari silk in this kind of color already, and I loved it. This is like a neon magenta pink, and there's different threads of every color of the rainbow in here. And sari silk, if you don't know, is a byproduct of like the sari industry. They're like the offcuts of when saris are being woven with like silk threads. So this is technically a waist, and this is my favorite waist that I've ever spun with. I spitefully spun 100% sari silk all through the summer because people would say, it's a great add-in, you can put it in your bats, it's great to add in with wool, it's a great add-in this, add in that. And I'm like, why can't I spin it 100% by itself? Because 100% recycled silk sounds incredible. And it was. Let me show you. Is mainly recycled sari silk, all those deep blues, you can see the more emerald greens, there's kind of pops of like pink and red in there, and then that bright kind of neon green streaks is some mulberry silk that I dyed. So this is 100% silk. It's massive, it's lush, and I spun this out of spite because people just kept saying like, it's great to add into your wool, and I'm like, no, I want to spin it by itself. Don't tell me what to do, you're not my real dad. And I did, and it's incredible. And if you saw this adventure over the summer, I want to knit this up into a ripple bralette. You'll know I love a titty top. This was the vision. I wanted to knit up a 100% hand spun silk top because how fucking luxurious is that? And this is the most yardage I've ever spun. This is the biggest bobbin I've ever spun. I love sari silk, moral of the story. So I grabbed these from Chaotic Fibres. I'm gonna link all these vendors down below. Go check out Carrie. She got the shit end of the stick at this event, and I felt really bad for them in the pouring rain. That is all. That's it, that's all. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Thank you for watching. Follow me on Instagram, JackassCollective, TikTok, JackassCollective. Subscribe here. Comment down below. What are you working on right now? What do you want to see? What are you most excited to see me create out of all of this? Go check out the website. Go buy some things. There's a shop update on Monday, November 4th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with some hand spun, some fiber, some locks, some goodies. And thank you for watching. Bye.